and with me we got the Landshark picker, Craig. Welcome to the mid-morning break room. As we said yesterday, Tommy, the bargain effect, he has a lot of stuff going on this week. He's pretty busy getting ready for his new business. He's starting with merch. So he's swamped this week. If he has time, he said he'll pop in, but his mornings are crazy this week, so he won't be with us. Derek had some things pop up too, so he may or may not be with us this morning, but me and Craig are holding it down. I do have a friend of mine who's brand new to the eBay scene that may be popping in with us as well. I think he'll be a great person for this topic because our topic today is what's your goal? But this guy is actually somebody I know from the wrestling business. He used to be a promoter, and he and I actually co-founded a wrestling company in West Virginia. So I think he'll be a great interview if we can get him to pop in. Hold on one sec, guys. I'm going to let Craig introduce himself. I got my washer going.
Sure. Hey, I'm sure everybody in the crowd, or most of you at least, know me. My name's Craig. I am in the great state of Alabama. My YouTube channel is Landshark Picker. Sell on eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, and just glad everybody made it again today. Definitely appreciate it.
Sure. So the topic for today is what's your goal? Why do you do this? I got this topic. I was talking with Tommy when I was down at Derek's house. We were doing a private chat. We were just kind of hanging out together. And he said, so I never really got to ask you, what's your goal? Why do you sell on eBay? What's what motivates you to do this? Like not so much what's your motivation behind it, but what is your goal? What do you hope to achieve by selling on eBay or by doing any kind of e-commerce? What's your hope in doing that? So it really had me thinking about it. And honestly, like I was just straightforward with him. Like I don't have any pie in the sky type goal or anything like that. I just basically told him, I was like, you know what, honestly, for me, I just want to help provide for my family. I want to be able to take some burden off of Ashley, and I want to, be able to contribute to the household, and being, disabled from wrestling and everything like that. It's been difficult for me to do that lately, since our church closed. So, yeah, my goal is just to be able to provide a living for my family and to, contribute to the household. I don't have any kind of aspirations of, being like some kind of big corporation or anything like that. I really enjoy what I'm doing. Would I like to see it get bigger? Maybe one day have a store? Possibly. But right now, my goal is just to continue to provide for my wife.
And I think that's probably a common goal across a lot of people. Not to provide for their wife, but to provide for their family or keep their household going, but also just survival.
Yep.
Different people are at different. Every time I want to say it, I always think I don't need to say that word. Different levels, different situations.
Yeah.
Sure. Some people, this is the only thing their only source of income.
Yep.
Some it's a secondary source. Some it's a primary with other secondaries.
Yep.
When it comes to this type, and I know I don't talk about it a lot, but it's I came from a computer background. This was my secondary income. It was extra money, stuff like that. So it was what it was at that point. But now it's kind of it's probably 50-50 with my income between reselling and now doing programming on my own. So everybody's got different. Do I want it to grow multi-million dollars? I mean, that would be nice, but how realistic is it to think that, in a lot of our situations, especially if you're using yard sale, garage sale, thrift store, and I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying, how realistic is it to say that I can sell $1 million in that market,
Yeah, for sure.
And if it was realistic, yeah, I would have no problem with that. But, I think to get to that level potentially, and really grow and scale really big in this market, you have to do some kind of wholesale, and have some pretty good, because obviously, if you're out going to auctions and things like that, you're going to make good money. But, you're just not guaranteed that you find something. You could go 2 months without finding anything that's going to make you decent money,
Yep.
And I think that's what's so hard sometimes is everybody feels like this is a grind because you're out there looking and looking and looking, and, you don't find a home run for a month. And then all of a sudden you hit one, and then,
Yep. I don't even really bank on home runs. Whenever I hit one, I'm thrilled to have hit it. But honestly, if I can keep hitting singles, I'm going to be bringing the runs home. So I'm more than happy to pick up singles, doubles, triples. I mean, obviously you want to swing for the fences, but I mean, it's not always realistic.
Right.
So, just like Pat D says on his thing, you might not hit a home run every time, but you've got to come up to bat or something like that.
Right. That's what he says for sure.
So I want to take a minute just to say hi to some people in the chat. Lisa C was the first one in. Thank you for telling me about the wrong time for tomorrow. Got that all fixed. Kelly, the Ecom Mom Ward, the Houston Texans super fan. Tease Flips, good morning to you. Good morning, Perla.
She's been in a little bit more lately. I know the name. I've seen her before, but she's been in a little bit more lately.
Hey, Diane Matthews, I want to say a special thank you to you. I did get the eBay shipping supplies yesterday, so thank you so much for thinking of me in that regard. Really appreciate it. I was running super low on stuff, so that was a huge help. Siosa Sales, how you doing today? Good to see you. Another crazy day at the office. Well, I hope you have a good day. Every day I'm hustling.
What's up, Nate?
What's up, my man? Michelle Lathan, good morning to you. Eric Bischoff, my favorite WCW personality. Kelly Hit Flippin' Mama, how you doing? Guys, she's getting super close to 1K. Please go and subscribe to her. She is an amazing person. You guys will love her. So I'd appreciate it if you went over there and you even leave her a comment. Say, hey, I'm from the break room. Trying to help you get to 1K. That'd be awesome. We got damn flipping Cruders. What's up, Rebecca? Good to see you.
We missed Tommy with that. He's the only one that can say it just right.
I know.
No, you did a great job, but Tommy's on another level.
We have DC Sales, the master of the license plate, in the car listening this morning. Great to see you here, D. You are a wonderful, wonderful person. Let's see. The Good Life. What's up, Andy? Good to see you.
Yeah, Andy.
His goal is to have better sales than Craig.
That shouldn't be too hard these days.
Yep.
I did get a while there. Go ahead.
She has so many goals. DC Sales is to pay the bills. That makes perfect sense. Ghost Pirate, thank you so much for being here with us today. Moronic Pest is paying the bills. That's what he's all about. Amen. I hear that. DG Picker, the man, the myth, the legend, and I would say newest member, but I think Alex is the newest member of the 1K Club. Good to see you, man. Oh, wow. I guess his company he works for just got sold to another company.
That's always a mess. I've been through that.
I hope everything goes well, man. Hopefully there's a promotion in it for you. If not, hopefully you find a lot more of them Target dogs. Flip them up.
We got everybody.
Let's see. Fishing and Picking, good to see you. Yeah, that's a good one. Fishing and Picking says reselling is his way of buying his own time from punching a time card. It's good.
Scoot up a little bit right above where you saw Andy. T-Flip's got a great point. A lot of us talk about potentially long-term goals. You can also have short-term goals. It's, I almost think you got to have both sometimes. Their initial goal is to replace a lawn business income about $4,000 a year, then expand to cover my part-time job income. Sometimes it's a lot easier to hit long-term goals by setting short-term goals to get there. Just like we talked about, working through a death pile, working with something you can manage. Hey, I want to do $100 more this month than I did last month. Hey, I want to do $500 this month. I want, you can't come out saying I want to make $4,000 this year and boom, it's going to happen. You got to kind of take steps to get there.
Yeah. I want to say hi to Hustling So Hard I Sweat. I met you yesterday during Bible study, so thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate it. You had a lot of good, valuable things to add to the chat. I appreciated that. We got the cherry picker, Veronica. Yeah, that's a good goal there, is to find mental clarity and be who I want to be. That's awesome. So I know a lot of times, depending on what type of job you have, it could be stressful. It could really weigh on your emotional health. So that's a fantastic goal.
Siosa says I want to post at least 3 times a week and get my store to 100 items. That brings up a good point, and it's kind of related to goals, but it's a little bit of a rabbit hole off to the right of it. But so many people get consumed with how many items are in their store.
Yep.
In my opinion, I'd lot rather have a higher quality items that I knew would sell, maybe not over and over again, but at a much frequent rate with a higher average sales price.
Yep.
That's a challenge. I'm not, I know that can't work for everybody. I'm just thinking of the perfect storm, the perfect situation,
Yeah.
And I just don't get so consumed about how many items you have. I've heard somebody say, instead when they sit down and list, they're not so worried about, hey, did I list 500 items? Did I list 20 items when I sat down? I listed $1,800 worth of product today.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, that's going to help you more than sitting down and saying I listed 80 items, but I'm looking at $30 worth of profit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Lisa says, I don't want any items in my store. I want them all sold. Exactly. Yeah.
I hear you there, Lisa.
That is the goal.
Wouldn't that be nice if stuff would sell quicker than you can list it? I would love that.
I don't know if I was on a live or talking with Dusty or somebody in a private chat, and we were talking about that. Maybe it was, I don't know, and maybe that's Anthony. I don't remember. If it was you, I apologize. I just didn't remember who I was talking to.
Yeah.
About sitting down listing stuff. We were talking about video. Maybe it was on the show yesterday, was it?
Yeah, probably.
Video games. You were listening to those games, and all of a sudden, 2 or 3 sold as you were listing them.
Yep.
My mind was crazy. I couldn't remember. But that's always a good feeling. You always have that feeling of, did I list that item too low for a price? But yeah, it's always a good feeling when you list something and it sells just within minutes. That's
the cool thing is, sold another one just last night, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
Is that GameCube?
GameCube. That was one of the ones that I had listed that night. So that one took like 3-4 weeks to sell, but it's gone.
I think we've had that game here in the house. Somebody made a good point. Andy said I have 530. This is kind of what I'm talking about. Andy says I have 513 items, and a buddy has 125, and he does 10 times the sales that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I mean, honestly, it just depends on what you have too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you have the right item at the right price, it's going to sell.
Yeah. And you may not have the ability to source items at that higher dollar level.
Yeah.
Higher dollar value, I don't want to look down on people that are selling, because you look at my store right now, I've got some items that are on pretty heavy sale just because they haven't moved, that are sub $6,
Yeah.
Sometimes you get in this situation where you have those items you've had for a while, you just want them gone. But,
yep.
I know Tommy talks about it not being very convenient to get to some of his stores. So when he goes, he has to make it well worth his time,
That's a good deal, Kelly. She sent me a picture of some PlayStation 2 games the other day and asked if it was a good deal. I said, yeah, it's not a bad deal, but yeah, the guy dropped $10 on them, so that's awesome. Buck a piece, that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
That'll definitely help you get a little more ROI out of it. So yeah, Kelly says her short-term goal is to pay for Christmas gifts without using a credit card, which is an awesome goal.
Oh, for sure. I know that's always a challenge, and that's one I struggle with. People talk about I'm not prepared for Christmas, and how am I going to afford Christmas? And I don't remember if it was Dave Ramsey or somebody made the point. Christmas is at the same time every year. It's not like it comes up and, oh, Christmas is here, you know? I'm the same way, though. You know, I sit back and wonder how we're going to do it sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Veronica has some pretty good goals here. She wants to grow her channel. Speaking of which, if you haven't subscribed to the Cherry Picker, go and click that subscribe button, because the way we roll around here is we like them gray buttons and not the red ones.
Yep.
So go show her a little bit of love. Tell her you're from the break room, and she's awesome. She really is a very nice person, and she does some really cool sales too. She wants to post 3 times a week and grow her Instagram and hit 12K net a month. Or not 12K would be awesome. 400 net a month.
Let's do it.
Let's get her to 12K a month.
Yeah.
Come on.
Wow.
Go cherry pick her eBay store, guys.
That's cool.
And I'm sure that this is super loud, so let me mute myself a sec.
Yeah. We had a couple people jump in while he's checking on that. Jameson's Closet, good morning. Who else I see? Neville from across the big ocean. Who else? Yes, Rump Stump Reseller. Welcome in, Jamie. Thanks for coming back. Matt, BK Vending and Flipping. Good to see you again. Nate says my goal is to quit my job and resell full time. I think I'm close to being able to do that. I'm making the same as my job right now. It's just very scary because I'm the only breadwinner in the house. And that's tough. It really is. That's the situation I was in for over 20 years. And that was by choice. You know, I always wanted my wife to stay at home with the kids. But it's tough. You know, you don't have as much flexibility when you're the only breadwinner in the house, you know? And I'm not looking down on anybody that's not in that situation, but it's, you know, I don't want to say it's a little more pressure, but it's just a little bit different situation, you know? Your livelihood, like we were talking about, being able to support the family, your livelihood depends on it. Jordan, my goal is to get monetized on YouTube for the extra small stream of income. Yeah, I think the key word there is small, unless you take a approach that some of these people are taking, because it's a struggle. You know, it's tough to look at YouTube as it's tough to look at YouTube as a real income stream and depend on it for money, you know.
Hustling so hard I sweat. Yeah, I do believe listing every day is essential for consistent sales, or at least as much as you can. But yeah, here's what I try to do. I try to at least list 3 items a day. That's my goal. If I can throw 3 things up a day, then I'm happy. Well, I mean, that's on busy days. You know what I mean? If I have nothing to do in a day and I'm feeling okay, because there's some days that I'm just not feeling well. So by the way, guys, this is Nate Everyday I'm Hustling that just popped in with us. He's going to add a little bit of insight to some of these goals. But yeah, so anyway, if I'm not feeling well in a day, if I can get 3 things up, like yesterday, it was a terrible day for me pain wise. So I threw up, I think, 3 Funko Pops and like a video game statue. And like literally that was all I could do. I was like down for the count after that. But the other day I was feeling okay. So I listed like 40 plus action figures. Wow. You know what I mean? So you want to try to list as much as you can, because listing does help in the eBay algorithm. But if you can't, you know what I mean? If it's one of those days you can't, I mean, throw 1 thing up if you can, you know what I mean? If for me, like I sell a lot of Pokemon cards, right? So if I know that I have a certain card, I don't even have to go take pictures or anything. I can just take a snapshot of what that card looks like, and I can just upload that from my phone. You know what I mean? So like there's ways around it if you literally don't have the time, or if something comes up. I'll do that sometimes while I'm in the car or whatnot. Like I'll know I have, such a card to list or whatever. So I'll just take a stock photo of it because I know it's like pack fresh. So like I can't really get in trouble for it. Right. But for the most part, you want to stay away from stock photos just because you can kind of get burned on that if you're item isn't in such good condition or whatnot. But yeah, I do think it's important to list every day. What do you guys think?
Oh, I agree. And Eric, Nameless Picker, who's got great knowledge, says consistent listing and building a store quantity up is the key to everyday sales. And I think it's those two working together.
Yeah. The more things that you have in your store, the better chance you're gonna have sales. And the more stuff you have in your store, the more sales, the more profit, the more money you make, and it helps you grow your business. More cash flow for those bigger buys that can net you a lot more money. Because when you make bigger buys, that's the best way to, make a good bit of money on every item or every, on stuff like that. So,
but you also have to think about quantity. Just putting items up there that are junk isn't going to help you much. I'm not saying that you do. I'm just, kind of playing off what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I made the comment earlier. Concentrating so much on quantity. It's easy to get into that thought process. If I got 1,000 lists, I got to fill them up. Let me list this piece of paper, this bottle cap. Let me, just fill up these listings.
That's what I did at first too, because literally anything I had at my house that I didn't want, I just listed. You know what I mean? So I'd have like junk up there for like 99 cents, and I'd literally be making nothing on it, just making work for myself. So,
Right.
You need to be careful with what you list. I learned quick though what items I need to just throw in a box for donate, what items need to be thrown in a box for the flea market, and what items actually should go in my store. Like right now, I can almost guarantee you I still have some stuff on my store that should not be there. They've just gotten lost in the mix because I'm typically between 1,100 and 1,300 items in my store at any given time. So for me, it's a little bit more difficult to kind of navigate through what's junk and what's not. Every once in a while, whenever I'm rearranging my shelves or whatnot, I'll be like, yeah, that needs to get pulled because that's trash. So, I've been through that quite a bit.
But it's easy to get in that cycle though when you first get started. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, I sold something that had been in my store for 2+ years.
Yeah.
You see that sale come through, you'll get the picture like, gosh, that's been there for so long. Do you get to the point of just letting them ride, or do you go back and, review your store and say, wow, this isn't meeting my business model anymore, because everybody went through that phase of buying lower margin items, just trying to get a store built up,
Yep. And I did that like crazy. I'd go buy anything I can get under $1 in the beginning. I was picking up like, oh yeah, I can get this and I can flip it for $4. It's like, come on, Anthony. Like, tax is $4 to do for you. Yeah.
In those situations, how much time and how much effort do you put into those $4?
Yep.
Am I better off trying to?
That's the problem I had, you know what I mean? And I'm just being fully transparent. Like when I first started, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I learned the majority of what I do for my business just from watching YouTube, like straight up. Fully transparent, just from sitting here watching other people do it.
Right. Wow.
See, when you're making those smaller profits on things that are like, you're making $4 or whatever, if it's a bread and butter item that you're going to sell multiples of, there's nothing wrong with making $4 each. A lot of that like is with Amazon and stuff like that, where, you buy something and you're not making $20, $30 an item. You're making, based on what you paid for the item. You know what I mean? Like say I spent $1, I'm making $2 or $3, but I'm selling 50 of those a month or whatever. So it's Amazon's a different type of game with that part of it. And then, versus eBay, like I always explain with Amazon, it's an RI game and, it's a volume game. And with eBay, it's my big ROI, gravy train is what I call it. So whenever I make a sell on eBay, it's usually like, I'm making $20 or, triple or quadruple what I paid for the item. So
yeah, I think for that reason, it's so hard to really sit back and compare dollar for dollar or whatever, on Amazon to eBay,
Yep.
Because they're different. Potentially they're different strategies.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a whole different mindset, especially for me. I'm sure Anthony has seen it. Like, I'm a little more picky when I go to yard sales and stuff like that. I go for stuff that, I know I could sell or whatever, that's bread and butter. But, he buys some of the different stuff. I'm not saying it's not a good buy, just, he has more experience, or he buys that type of stuff, and he's used to making, whatever he knows that product more than I do because he's been selling it, and he'll throw it up in the store. He'll make, X amount for it, and he's, at the end of the day, he's happy with that. So, for me, like, I try to balance both of them, so I have to be a little more picky with my cash flow and stuff like that.
But on the eBay side, if I can buy anything in quantity, I've got an item I've had for almost 2 years now. I think I had 120, 130 of them. I didn't go out buying them, seeing that there were that many of them. Ended up getting them in an auction lot, and they were in the bottom of a box. They were nothing more than the little small CDs, the little tiny ones, almost the size of a GameCube. It was that, along with a USB to serial adapter that went with a GPS receiver. And something like that, I have no problem making smaller margins because literally they came in a box that took up this amount of space. It sells, I slap it in an envelope, and it goes. It's not like I'm working hard. It was one listing with quantity,
Yeah.
So quantity listings like that, I take a totally different approach.
Here's a good goal that Matt has. His short-term goal is to get at least 100 in sales every day. I think that's a great goal, because if you do that, then you're hitting 700 a week. I mean, obviously, eBay and PayPal are going to take their chunk, but you're still probably going to end up with at least 500 a week, So I think that that's a great goal. I typically like to see my sales, around there too, if not higher. But I'm going to be straightforward. There's some days I don't hit that. You know what I mean? Like, I think yesterday I might have been at, I don't know, like $60 some, So that's a decent goal. I know for some people's business, and I'm not at that scale yet. I haven't hit that, we don't like to say level, but I haven't hit that level yet. Some people need to be hitting like $200, $300, $400 a day. I'm just not there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have very much debt in the business. I mean, really the only thing is I have a PayPal working capital loan I took a couple months ago. Tommy and I were talking about, like, if we were to find a big opportunity like Justin had with the Funko Pops, we wouldn't be able to take advantage of it because the way that our businesses were set up is we could only really float a few $100s at a time. So I really got a bug up my butt about that, and I ended up taking one of the PayPal working capital loans where literally you just pay them back a percentage of your sales. So literally every time I make a sale, I give PayPal 15% back. And in return, I got a lump sum of money that I can use to go out and take advantage of buys. And I actually used a lot of that to go to Derek's and to source a lot of the stuff I got. And I have awesome inventory that I'm going to be listing little by little. So this should help me scale that a little bit more.
Is that working out pretty well for you so far?
Yeah, so far, because like honestly, like I haven't even gone well, that's a lie. I went to I went to Goodwill the other day, and I actually scored pretty big there. I got a Funko Pop for $2.99 that sells for about $115. So I was pretty excited about that. But I mean, I don't have the need to source right now because I still have 8 huge boxes full of stuff that needs done. The only stuff I've listed through, I had this army duffel bag, like this huge duffel bag full of like action figures and plush. I haven't listed the plush yet. I've listed all of the action figures. So that stuff is listed. I have a huge suitcase full of stuff I haven't even touched yet. And I know that there's a couple $90+ items just sitting in the suitcase right here. I don't know if you can see this thing, but it's like huge. It weighs about 47 pounds or something like that. So there's about 47 pounds worth of good inventory there. Plus I have those 8 boxes I shipped back from Derek's that were like huge. So I have so much stuff. Plus I had a death pile before I left too. So
Scott's got a great point. There's just difference between the need to source and the want to source.
Exactly.
And I think the want to source is our biggest challenge, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
That's, that whole fear of missing out, for sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's always fun to go out and source. That's everyone's probably favorite part of the business. It's buying stuff at the end of the day that is going to be good for you in your business and for profitability and stuff like that.
Right. It's the easy part.
Oh yeah.
I wish shipping and listing and all that was just as easy. Somebody needs to find a way to make those areas just as easy.
Tommy stopped in to say hi to us. Hey, Tommy, I hope you're having a great morning, buddy, and make that money. Also, guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe to Tommy. He's a great dude. He has awesome knowledge, and this show is typically on his channel this day of the week. So you want to make sure that you are subbed to him. I want to say hi to Susan Does eBay. Good to see you here, Susan. She said, I mainly sell vintage plates and glass, and sales have been horrible. I know nothing about glassware, but there's a consignment deal I'm doing with a lady who's a huge glass collector. So I may want to pick your brain at some point, Susan, because she has a ton of stuff. I know nothing about glassware.
We've gotten into that a little bit, not a lot. I don't have a lot of knowledge there. I'll walk through and pick some up and check it. My wife, anytime she goes to the thrift store with me, that's what she concentrates on. She likes that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know nothing about it at all, and I know, like, I've seen Bearded Picker pick up what the heck's the name of them? The cookware, like the glass cookware that his wife likes a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I've seen a lot of people picking up stuff that is valuable, and I know nothing about glassware. Good morning to Just Me, Kathy. Thanks for being here. Okay. Jamie has an interview today, guys. Rum Stump reseller for a part-time job. Fingers crossed. She needs to bring in a little bit more income in for home repairs. So, Jamie, I'll definitely be praying for you. And I hope you get that job. Tomorrow, we have a really cool topic for tomorrow that's going to kind of go right into what you're talking about. I basically titled it, Let's Talk About the Grind. And I got this idea. I was watching Tommy Bernard's channel the other night, and he had Zahir Malik on. I don't know if you guys know Zahir, but he's awesome. Go subscribe to him if you haven't. And Zahir picked up a job lately, and he's been working. And he was kind of just talking about the grind. He said that he's made a couple purchases that didn't go the way he thought they would. So to keep his lifestyle, rather than downsize, to keep his way of life for his family and everything, he decided to continue reselling at a full-time level, but also to pick up a job at the same time and kind of just bring in that money. But it really got me thinking, like, you know what I mean? Like, this reseller lifestyle, it's not always, peaches and cream. It's a grind sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I find some weeks, like, I can literally only contribute $100 to the house, after paying fees and, whatever else I have to do for the week, you know what I mean? So, like, that's like literally, like, to me, I feel like freeloading whenever I can only contribute $100 towards bills in any given week, you know what I mean? Especially with, we have a lot of debt as a family. You know what I mean? Like, I have school loans that need paid off. I have, car loans that need paid off. We have tons of stuff going on with our house right now. You know what I mean? We just found out when I was down at Derek's that our upstairs bathroom is literally unusable right now. It's going to take about $4,000 to repair some pipe work that's messed up in there. And as a result of that pipe work, our living room ceiling kind of crumbled and fell in. So I can't fix my living room ceiling until I fix the pipes. So it's like one of those things where it's like, It's like one thing after another going wrong with the house. So being homeowners, like, I can't just call somebody like, hey, landlord, come fix this stuff. I got to actually make the money to do it. So with all of that stuff, you know what I mean? This eBay stuff has become even more of a grind because now I need to make money to kind of pay for all that other stuff. So that's going to be tomorrow. I didn't want to get too much into it, but Jamie basically just sparked that topic in my head right there. So I understand completely what you're going through, Jamie.
That's the one thing that is like for me, like I don't know how that feels to have to, fully grind like that on reselling. You know what I mean? Like now I do a lot, I do as much as I can after my job and before I go to work and stuff like that. But, I don't know how it is to really get through like a tough phase or like, with like financially, if you need the money or whatever, like how you really push, you know what I mean? Like that's a whole different situation versus which I have to go through right now. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Basically now I just, list and ship stuff out, do my Amazon stuff. But at the end of the day, I know I have X amount of income coming in from my job. And then I have, a good guess of generally what I make from, my job, duty, reselling and stuff like that. So, it's a whole different mindset. And I tried to have that, like try and look at how things would be if I went full time when I was on vacation for that week or whatever. And it was definitely different. I felt like I was less productive because I was like off, you know what I mean? Versus, the normal person would be a full-time reseller. They're more disciplined on what they're doing for periods of time throughout the day and stuff like that.
Right.
Are you able to drop a link for that, Kathy? Because I think that'd be valuable for everybody to watch because cubic shipping is amazing. I just bought something for Ashley off of Facebook Marketplace. So somebody in Ohio, I didn't feel like driving there and they were going to ship it. And they sent me back this shipping rate that was like insane. I was like, look, let me tell you how to pack this thing. And I'm going to send you a label. You don't even have to do anything. All you need to do is just slap the label on the package and send it to me. So, cubic shipping is awesome. If somebody could drop a link to that, that'd be amazing. Because it's hard to know how to do it right. You know what I mean? And I've seen a lot of people that don't do it right, and you can get in trouble for that. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you could just get hit with like another charge you weren't expecting to have. Right. You know what I mean? So either way, it could suck. But
sure.
Yeah, there was somebody that recently I messaged and I bought something from, and I told them, I says, I know you're doing this wrong. They were sending stuff out in 18-inch boxes. And I said, I'm just letting you know that I don't want to see you get in trouble because it has to, like the biggest bag that you can use from what I understand is 18 by 18 poly bag. And it's whatever fits in that poly bag, not after you tape the box and then tape the bag around the corners and it's 18 by 18, you're good. No, it's the size of the pack of the actual poly bag before you actually put the box in. And you can get, I mean, if you do that wrong, you can get in trouble with the government and with, the post office, which is hand in hand. So you don't want to mess with the government. You know what I mean? They'll come after you with fines and fees. And I think someone got in trouble, got some jail time over media mail, I think it was, for shipping a bunch of stuff.
Talking about media mail,
there was like a millionaire, like a guy that made millions of dollars. I can't remember who. Somebody shared it on Facebook in one of the reseller groups. I can't remember the dude's name, but he was $1 million+ seller on eBay, and he sent everything that he sent out media mail. Right. And eventually, it caught up to him, and he actually went to jail for it.
Right.
Media mail is one of the rates that the USPS reserves the right to open and inspect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure they have the right to open and inspect anything, based on whether they think it's illegal or whatever, from a product. But from the way I understand it, they have reserved the right to open up media mail to make sure it meets the qualifications.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The bag.
And just because somebody gets away with it, I've heard some people say, hey, I do it all the time and I get away with it. Well, just because you get away with it doesn't make it right and doesn't mean that I'm going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. But full transparency, guys, as far as the cubic stuff goes, getting back to Scott's video. Hey, what's up, Lonnie? Good to see you, my man. I've actually done cubic wrong in the past. And luckily, Tommy, Bargain Effect, he's reached out to me and been like, hey, dude, this is the way it actually needs to be. And that saved me a lot of trouble with having to wonder whether or not am I going to get dinged for it? Am I going to get another charge I wasn't expecting to have? Am I going to have, some kind of federal charge come down on me? So it's important to know the exact way to do things. I'm pretty diligent, and full transparency, I'm super diligent when I'm shipping something out for somebody else. But when I'm shipping stuff to myself, it's super ghetto. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I half bought my own stuff, which I probably shouldn't because it's like stuff that I need to make money on. But Tommy's helped me out a lot with that. So I know he always says that if you ever have any issues with that stuff, you can always email him. He's super knowledgeable. Hey, Kimmy, good morning to you. Good to see you today. I'm sure we missed a lot of people that have jumped in here. Lonnie's another one that I learned a ton of shipping from. I love when people do videos and they actually show their shipping process. Like, I've seen Craig do that before, and Justin does that, and it's super, super helpful. Like, especially on bigger items, because in the past I never knew how to ship bigger items, and just watching people on YouTube have literally made a lot of that stuff so much easier.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from Lonnie and from Scott, and basically both of my businesses, I wouldn't have them. Well, no, actually the same business, but I wouldn't be doing Amazon without Bearded Picker's help from his videos, and Lonnie and Scott does eBay too. If I didn't watch those guys, I wouldn't probably be here, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I agree. I've learned so much from the guys, and I've always appreciated what they bring to information to YouTube and stuff like that. I made my first simple export sale yesterday, or no, 2 days ago, and like, that's money that I might not have right now because I wouldn't have known about that, or maybe they wouldn't want to pay the extra. I think it would have cost an extra $3 or $4 for me to send the package to Australia and stuff like that. So that's more eyes on my products that I wouldn't have had before. So
I'm actually working out a multi-quantity deal with somebody in Australia right now. They got a hold of me and they're like, hey, I'm interested in some stuff. Is it possible you can combine shipping if I do it? Because your shipping rates are a little bit high. And I basically told them, like, hey, there's this new simple export program through Pirate Ship. And they were like, yeah, I'm on board. Let me look through your store. I'll pick out several items I want. You can box them all up together, and we'll do this simple export rate. Because they were looking at like the little Thomas the Tank engines. You know what I mean? They weigh like nothing.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, let me. I'm assuming the rest of the stuff they're looking at are toys. So if I can get that under the 4 pound rate, send that first class through simple export, I'd be super happy with that.
Lonnie's got a good point. Says just make sure they understand they may have to pay customs.
That's a good point, because I haven't ever really suggested that to anybody yet.
So, your fees are cheaper, but you got to do a little bit of the work with the. I know I haven't done it yet, but I'm sure it prints out the customs label with you when you grab the label. I've never used it. I've heard people talking about it. I stick to GSP for now.
asked what like categories the merchandise in or whatever, and then it just prints on normal half sheet label like any normal label would, and slap it on and out it goes.
Craig, do you have anybody that you were going to invite on tomorrow for the show?
Who's on your channel tomorrow?
Oh, I know. I just didn't know if you had someone up or whatever, because I would love to have Jamie on, because she actually fits the criteria perfect for the she just offered to come on tomorrow morning. If you want to come on, Jamie, I'd absolutely love to send you a link. You can come join us, and I think it's going to be a really good topic, because let's be real, there's not very many people on YouTube that'll actually talk about, hey, this is a grind. You know what I mean? The difficulties that come with either full-time reselling, part-time reselling, or whatnot. Because I know for me, full-time, like right now, we're trying to go to Disney while dealing with all of these financial burdens of trying to get the house in order. So for me, like literally, I told Ash, like, look, I'm going to have to grind super hard this Q4 to get us to Disney in December. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying not to cut any of the things she wants to do out of the vacation. You know what I mean? Because this is something that she looks forward to all year long. So I'm gonna have literally like I'm gonna have to be Nate every day. I'm hustling like, for real. I'm gonna have to hustle hard to get all that done.
You need to change your intro music on your videos then.
Yeah, well, I find that the intro people always tell me gets stuck in their head. So
it does.
If it gets stuck in their head, then I must be doing something right.
Well, that's part of branding at any level. You know, you want something that sticks. You know, a way to identify you.
Yep.
But for the longest time, seeing Destiny walk into Todd's chat and he would sing to her. Every time I see Destiny to this day, I hear him singing DESTINIE.
Yep, absolutely. Kelly says a good point here. RVA puts in his listings that they're responsible for custom charges. I may actually start including that in my listings. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I might have to too.
Put it in that area that the buyers aren't going to read anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's a CYA kind of thing, but you know.
Yeah. That's a great idea though. I really might have to start doing that because I do a lot of international business. Like I would say, if not every day, every other day, I'm shipping something international.
I thought you would say if you weren't hustling every day, you were hustling every other day.
It depends on how I'm feeling, to be honest with you.
Every other day.
Yesterday, full transparency, I only listed 4 items.
Hey,
Sunday, I didn't list any because normally Sundays are like, especially now that it's football season. You know what I mean? I literally went from church to the Steeler game to, WWE pay-per-view. You know what I mean? So it was like one of the days.
Football happens on Saturdays, not Sundays.
I might have to start watching college ball now since Ben's hurt.
Yeah, for real. I'm hoping Mason Rudolph got something in him though, man. Like, because the idea in drafting him in the 3rd round was that he could eventually be like a heir apparent to Big Ben. You know what I mean? When Big Ben steps down, maybe he'd be ready to go. Yeah, thanks, Kelly. I appreciate it. I had Big Ben in the resellers league too as my quarterback, which kind of sucks now. Oh, heck yeah, man. Scott just asked if I'm glad to get Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Bama boy. Heck yeah, I am, man.
He came over from the Bengals, didn't he?
No, he came from Miami.
Yeah,
see, the only thing
ain't trying to help us out.
The only thing I have a problem with that trade is we don't know what our season's going to be like. We could possibly have like a 5th pick or like a 7th pick, or even better.
I think Minkah was originally an 8th round or number 8 overall pick, wasn't he?
I think he was 11th. I think he was 11th pick last year.
I mean, either way, like that's our biggest. That was like our Achilles heel, man. Just watching the game on Sunday, freaking Sean Davis, man. I could tackle better than Sean Davis, and I'm partially able. You know what I mean? Like every single time I saw like a missed tackle on the secondary level, it was freaking Sean Davis. Like I literally wanted to like go slap him around, man.
Designated missed tackler.
Pretty much. And then I'm watching our corners, like our nickel, our dime corners. They're tackling great. You know what I mean? And it's literally Sean Davis missing one of them tackles that went for big yards.
You know who I like to play? You know who I like to watch play on the Steelers. And I say this, he's an Ole Miss alum, but Mike Hilton.
Yeah,
it's about 5'6", 5'7", but it's like a dang rock star.
Yep,
he comes so fast. He comes off that corner, man.
Yeah, he's quick. He was I think he was a high school quarterback, but he was incredible.
Yeah, that's the only thing I have a problem with the trade. Especially the day of or the day after Ben got hurt, and he's out for the season. We could possibly get a top end pass rusher or something of value or whatever. But now
that he was 11th overall.
Yeah.
Which, Steelers had good luck at 11th overall. That's where we got Big Ben.
Like, I mean, the thing that's great is what he is right now. There's no guessing game of what he's going to be or his skill set because you have already seen some tape of it already this year. So that is probably the one thing that they did like. They rather give up that chance of maybe getting a 5th or 6th or 7th pick, trade that to Miami, get a player that you already have game film against, and see what he's going to be like. And hopefully Mike Tomlin, that's a specialty, and really sees this guy and be like, okay, this guy is going to be the next Troy Polamalu or something for us.
That's what I'm hoping, man. Like we need like another Polamalu, Ed Reed type player that can kind of just be that general out in the secondary.
Right.
And man, I like Minka, dude. I really like Minka. I think he's a good player. So let's hope this works out well, and this gives us a reason not to tank the season. When Big Ben went down, I was like, you know what? It's cool. They can keep losing, and then we'll get an elite player. But now that we traded that first round pick, man, like let's do this thing, man. Let's hope Mason Rudolph has a breakout year. You know what I mean?
He throws a nice ball. So
I saw Stephen A. Smith was basically saying the Steelers should go out and sign Colin Kaepernick. I still think Mason Rudolph's a good player. Like I was impressed with how he looked on Sunday, and I liked him in college. But I mean, whatever, man. I'm in for the Steelers doing whatever they need to do to succeed.
Did Rudolph play at Oklahoma State, or am I thinking?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
and James Washington. So our number 2 receiver was his like number 1 college receiver. And I really think this is going to be big for Vance McDonald because Rudolph's, a little prone to go after the tight end too. So, yeah,
it's tough to talk NFL down here. The South is so much more as a whole, a college football area. We've got so much. We've got
Pennsylvania's good for college, but I mean, like Pittsburgh, like we are, like the Steelers are the stronghold here in this season or in the city. You know what I mean? Even when the Penguins are doing back-to-back Stanley Cups, the Steelers are still like a level ahead of them. I mean, the Penguins are huge here too. Don't get me wrong, but like this is a Pittsburgh Steelers football town. There's people that walk around with what's the shirt say, Nate? This is a drinking town with a football problem or something like that.
I don't think I've ever seen that shirt, but I'm sure that shirt is worn.
Yeah, they sell them down in the Strip all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a football city. But I mean, we still, we're big into Pitt. We're big into Penn State here in Pennsylvania. So like, we have good college, sports. It's just we have that Pittsburgh Steelers stronghold here, man. It runs deep.
Right. And it's all right there close. PNC Park and Heinz Field are all within just about walking distance of each other, aren't they?
Yeah. They're like basically in a straight line.
That's the way it is. That's the way it is in Arlington, which is where the Cowboys and the Rangers are. They're pretty much just like right across the parking lot.
They're pretty much separated by a parking lot that used to be Three Rivers Stadium.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I knew it was right there somewhere. I didn't know it was that close, though.
Yeah, they imploded it, turned it into a parking lot. It was pretty cool to watch, too. Yeah, it was sad, though, whenever I saw that thing tumble to the ground because of all the like great memories that were there.
Implosions do like that. I've always been amazed with how whatever they can do when they do a building that way. They place the explosive in certain positions. They hit a button and it just goes boom and it just falls straight down they can do it in a city block, and not have any problems. That's always amazed me.
Yep. Yeah, it was insane, man.
Those Auburn, Texas A&M, that ought to be a good game. Georgia, Notre Dame. Oh, whatever, Scott. So do y'all have those kind of rivalries up there with NFL? Is it
Oh yeah, yeah. Essentially for us, it's like the Ravens is the big one, Bengals and Browns. We hate the Patriots too, but Ravens is the really big one. So this right here I'm showing you guys is essentially the implosion of Three Rivers that we were just talking about. Are you seeing that, guys? Big?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it was crazy, man. This was all over the news. This might be somebody's like actual like camera footage because I think I just saw a finger pop at the bottom. But yeah, look how crazy that is.
It just falls straight down, pretty much.
And you can see off to the side, that's where Heinz Field is to the left there.
And no damage or any problems over there.
Nope. And now that's the parking lot for Heinz Field and PNC Park.
Oh, I thought that was the Steelers season going up in smoke. What's that?
There's Heinz Field right next to it. That's like it's not even complete yet because it doesn't show
like
the seats or anything in it.
Yeah,
that almost looks like a view from
doesn't even have the upper deck on the other side, close to the Three Rivers yet.
Yep. And then they're shooting off. Why would you have fireworks there? Makes no sense.
Yeah, traffic in downtown Pittsburgh and around Pittsburgh is no fun. I've driven through there a few times.
Yep.
Not as bad as Atlanta, though. And once you get over a bridge and get into downtown, it's not as bad.
Oh, Scott, you should have hit me up, dude. I would have taken you out to lunch. Yeah, man. If you're ever in the Berg, let me know, man. I got free lunch with your name on it.
Right, I'd have called off and be like, I'm sick. Eat some food.
All you got to do is tell them Scott's in town. You'll be clear.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell my boss, listen, Beard Picker's in town.
Exactly.
Can't come in. Just the way it is.
Yep. Jamie understands. When they Bush went down, it was like watching her childhood be imploded. Yep, that was same here. I mean, because I grew up going to Steelers and Pirate games there. Yeah. And the cool thing is, a lot of people don't know this, but when I was in high school, I was actually a ball boy for the Steelers. So really? I was a ball boy there for the final season at Three Rivers, and for the first season, actually like first 3 seasons at Heinz Field. So it was kind of cool to be able to be there for both. But yeah, it was rough for me seeing that thing get imploded.
See, my problem is I've been around sports for a long time. Not like that, but just watching and keeping up with things. Yeah. I have a hard time keeping up with the names of some of these newer stadiums. In my mind, I'm still thinking Astrodome and all the older stadiums, Three Rivers, and all that. Dude, I don't keep up at that level anymore.
Scott, there is a Permane Brothers literally like 10 minutes from my house, man.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
and seriously, hit me up next time you're in Pittsburgh. Give me a call or message me. I have my email in the description down below. So you feel free to get a hold of me, man. I will treat you to Permane Brothers. Anything you want on that menu.
Some of the best food I had in Pittsburgh were in some of these little hole in the wall type restaurants that were just off the beaten path, Yep. It was a little I can't remember what nationality or whatever flavor or whatever you want to call it was. And they're almost like the little food truck kind of places that you see. I know they weren't in trucks, but it was just little hole in the wall that you would think would never be any good.
Another place that's in Pittsburgh that I really like, I think it's really underrated. It's called Pepe's. It's like a sandwich place. It's the place that has the Roethlisberger sandwich. Love that sandwich like so much. Like literally, it came out when I was in college, the Roethlisberger, and literally there was one like right down the street from where I went to college, and literally every day at lunchtime I'd walk down and get one. But it's kind of like Permane's-esque in the sense that they have like Pittsburgh themed sandwiches, and they also have like if you look on the wall, like all the famous people from Pittsburgh, they'll have like Steelers that are eating there with autographs on their pictures and like all kinds of different stuff there. It's super cool. So Pepe's is definitely one of those underrated places that people don't talk about very much in Pittsburgh. But there's several like famous Pittsburgh type places. So yeah, definitely. Anytime, anytime any of you guys are in town, let me know, because I'll do my best to meet up with you and grab a bite to eat or do something.
Yeah, same here. I love to meet other YouTubers.
Tommy, I love those. Look, Nate, look what Tommy just said. Me and Nate just went to Denny's like a couple weeks ago, and I tore up some all-you-can-eat pancakes.
Yeah, you did. I should have got them. They were good.
Double fisting them, bringing them out to me.
We should have added a challenge. We'll have to do that next time. We'll have a pancake challenge.
Get it on video. Come on.
And I haven't eaten yet today, so I'm getting hungry. So I might have to be like, hey, Ash, like as soon as this show's over, let's go out to Denny's and stuff pancakes in my face.
I've had my customary moon pie and orange monster.
Nice. Tommy, I do want to come up to Wisconsin and meet you guys. Either that or you guys come down to Pittsburgh and spend some time with us. Either way, I'm cool. Whatever you want to do. But yeah, sometime in 2020, we got to do it, Tommy.
Kelly says that she grew up in Pittsburgh for a period of time during the Super Bowl years. Bradshaw, Swan. Who else?
That's where that song for my intro came from during those years. That's called the Steelers Polka from the 1970s.
Yep.
Swan, Stallworth came from Alabama A&M or something like that, little small school. I think he's from Alabama. Lynn Swan, John Stallworth, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Rocky Blier's a little bit further back than that, right?
No, he was in the 70s. He was Frank Harris's backup.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think you guys will really like it here in Pittsburgh, Tommy. Like, there's so many sourcing opportunities. I know you say you got to drive a ways to do it. Man, there's sourcing everywhere around here. And the way it is, like, we're a big city, but we have many small communities around the city. So, dude, I could take you to, like, everywhere, man. It's awesome, dude. I could take you guys up to Mount Washington. You can get a picture, literally. They have this, like, it's, like, super high up. And literally you can take a picture, and the entire backdrop is the city of Pittsburgh. It looks amazing.
Yeah. It's basically, isn't that the view that they basically shot the video for the implosion of the Three Rivers?
You know what? I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I'm
not sure where they were. But yeah, Mount Washington's like super famous around here. Like, pretty much when people come to Pittsburgh, that's where they go and take pictures, because literally you get the entire city behind you. It's awesome. You know, actually, I'm gonna Google it just so I can show you guys. It's super sweet.
What's the you know, where you come through the tunnel? It's got the big steel looking up above. Has it got a name? Come through the tunnel. I'm trying to think of which way I was coming from. Coming from the airport, getting to downtown.
After going through the tubes and across the bridge.
Yeah, you come through the tube, but it has the big rock face up above the tubes. Has that got a name? No, I'll have to.
I don't think. I don't think. I don't know. I don't think so.
Kelly said she lived there. 78 to 82. Yeah, I used to work in Pittsburgh. Actually, I worked here for a bank in Pittsburgh, and I was up there during my last year with the company. I was there more than when I was.
You guys seen this? Did I screenshot that right?
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm up.
Yep.
So this is pretty much the view. You'd have this behind you, you know, and then if you go at nighttime, it's super cool because the whole city's lit up. Super nice. That's a famous thing that a lot of people do when they come to Pittsburgh. If you're like a visitor, is go up to Mount Washington, take pictures. So much cool stuff. Like,
yeah, you take the trolley to get up to it. That's a cool experience.
It's like a small, big town. Like, we have everything that big cities have, but we're like smaller and more chill.
And that's on the opposite side of the river from downtown, right?
Yep.
You're up on the hill, yeah.
Yep.
I had a great view.
A lot of people take the incline too. It's like do you know how to explain the incline, Nate? Have you ever been on it?
Yeah, I've been on it. It reminds me of going on like a roller coaster when it's climbing up the grade to get to the top, and then you shoot down. Yep. That's basically what it is.
So you can either drive up to Mount Washington, or you can take this thing called an incline, where literally you start at the very bottom and it climbs all the way up, and it's super cool up there. I take people all the time. Like, we used to have girls come in when we had our recovery home from outside of Pittsburgh, and that would always be a place we'd take them to kind of show them like what Pittsburgh was all about, was take them up to Mount Washington to take pictures. I might even have a couple pictures. I'll have to check my Instagram.
I was thinking of the Fort Pitt Tunnel. How it's kind of built up with that face, straight up above the.
It's pretty. Cool. It's not too far from Fort Pitt Tunnel.
Nice. Yeah, I had a great view. The building I was working in when I was down there working was, I worked on the 32nd floor of a high rise and had a great view of the city. And there were several times I had to work overnight throughout the night, and it's a great view looking down on the city at night.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's cool, man. Like, I really like living here. I don't so much like the cold winters, but I mean, it's a cool city. There's a lot to do. I find when I'm in other places like vacationing or whatever, I tend to miss the way things are in Pittsburgh. But I think that's just because like born and bred here. Me and Ash have just, we've talked about maybe even moving to Florida one day, but there's just something about Pittsburgh, you know what I mean, that I really, really like.
If you move to Florida, would it be South Florida, Central Florida? Where would y'all?
Probably like the Orlando area, just because she loves Disney, and there's a lot of opportunities down there as far as 7-day-a-week flea markets. And if I lived in Florida right now, I could have my own storefront at one of their flea markets. And
when you said Florida, I figured that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, so like every time I'm down there, I source. Like we go to the flea markets, they have 7-day-a-week yard sales down there. I don't know if it's just like the time of year I was there that they were doing that, but I mean, it's nice all year round. So you can basically do any of that type stuff year round. So it's just for reselling, it's a good place to be.
And there's no state income tax down there.
Nope. I like that too.
7-day sales like that. I think Kim says they have that same kind of thing out her way out in Colorado, which That's is awesome. Hard to believe with some of the weather they potentially get, but
yeah,
kind of neat. But
I'm trying to find a picture for you guys of what Mount Washington looks like at nighttime, like when I was there. I know for a fact I got one on Instagram somewhere.
Because doesn't the whole line get lit up going up the mountain?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Tom, you're moving farther away from us. That Nevada, that'd be farther drive. You gotta come closer. Like Ohio or
hey, Tommy's trying to get out there with the bunny ranch, apparently. Oh my.
Hey.
So anything big going on today?
Hey.
Not really. My wife's off, so I'll probably spend a considerable amount of time with her. So I probably won't be on YouTube too much or basically doing much, work outside of getting my packages out. I might throw a few small things up, and I'll pretty much dedicate the day to her, being that she's off and she works pretty much all the time. So
I was going to say you were kid free, but you're always kid free, right?
And minus the fur kids, yeah. And Nala being a baby, she's very, very needy. She basically had Ash up all night, because typically if Ash is off, she'll be on like cat duty. But when she's working, I'm always on cat duty, which was nice that she was actually on cat duty last night. All right, this isn't that good of a picture, but I'm gonna share it anyway. Doesn't really show like the magnitude of Mount Washington, but we took our group of women's home to Mount Washington at night. So they had this thing you stand on. I kind of wanted to show you what it was like from the perspective of being up there. They have these like overlooks where people can go stand on, take pictures, look at the city with binoculars or whatever. So the entire city's like behind you, which you can't really see because there's so many people and they're not from the perspective. Typically they'll take it from the perspective of like where we're standing here, but it's super cool.
Yeah. And the downtown city is always lit up and neat looking at night. And it's big enough. I didn't realize this is as big of a city as it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's awesome. Lisa said her property tax is only $850 a year. That's amazing. I pay double that, and I'm in the hood.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I probably have some of the cheapest property taxes probably in the state, I would say, because the city I live in is actually the poorest city in Westmoreland County. So,
if you're the poorest, then I'm the second. That's for sure.
You're not in Westmoreland though. What county are you in?
I'm in Westmoreland.
You are in Westmoreland?
Yeah, I'm like on the. You're closest to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we're literally like on
the edges. Yeah,
New Ken Bridge is where Westmoreland County begins, like halfway through the bridge. So like one side of it's Allegheny, the other side of it is Westmoreland.
Yeah, you're on like the north edge of it. I'm on like the east side of, or the east thing of it.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I can go to 3 different counties in a 5-minute drive any which way. Like I can be in different counties.
Lisa said her house is $250K or so, and she's only paying that $850 a year property. Dude, my house, like legit, we bought it for $32K, and we're paying over $1,500 a year property taxes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like 15 to 18, somewhere in that range. Ash pays all the bills, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think mine is 18. I would double lot. I think mine's 18. I think.
Wow, that's tough.
Something like that.
My house is about 1,200 square feet. We paid $100,000 when we bought it, and our property taxes are in the $700 range a year.
Yeah,
But you can back and drive 15 minutes up the road and be in another city that this same house, I'd spend $1,200 or $1,500 a year in property taxes. And we're not in a bad area, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like smack dab in the middle of like the good and the bad area. My house was like, I think I paid 40 grand for it. It was move-in ready, 3-bedroom, so it's really cheap to live here. But, like you said, taxes are expensive.
Yep.
We have gas tax, which makes us probably one of the a little bit higher states for gas and stuff like that. So,
wow,
there's ups and downs to living here.
Look at John Jones, 1,600 square foot. Property tax is $5,800.
Dang.
Oh,
What are you located, John?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
I'll steer clear of that.
right.
I know, like New York is like astronomical.
Yeah.
I've heard T say she wants to move to Delaware because of the taxes in New York.
I think she'd have to get that approved by Tommy before she does.
Oh wow! Jim and Tara Carey went from 3,000 in Wisconsin to 700 in Kentucky.
Yeah. East Tennessee for Ciosa is affordable, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
40, golly.
Yeah, we definitely need to do some of this property tax. The crazy thing is it's more expensive to live in Florida too, and they have cheaper property tax. Like I don't get that. Like housing and stuff. We looked into housing. We even looked into the exact job Ashley has. Pays less there too. For it being a higher cost of living, the exact job she has pays less there. Makes no sense.
I figured it'd be more because Florida has such a big thing of so many nursing homes and stuff like that down in that area.
Huh.
I thought the demand would be higher, so the pay would be better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on if you're like private or you're through like a hospital or whatever. If she were to get the same hospital position, it would pay considerably less. I think it would pay like $11 an hour there. She started at over 15, almost 16 here in Pennsylvania.
I guess it depends on your degrees and stuff like that too that you have. You know what I mean? If you're just a basic nurse or
well, she's in the process. She wants to start in September this upcoming year, going back to school to get her RN degree or license or whatever it is. So she's hopefully getting upgraded here. What's up, puppy?
this is Cujo.
What's up, Cujo? You like that beard? How's that taste?
Depends on whether it has leftovers in it or not.
Right? A little savor flavor.
Yep.
Exactly. Nice. Look at the clock. We're in 20 minutes.
Yeah, Matt's in Arizona. He said 3,000 square feet, taxes around $2K.
Yeah.
I don't even know the square footage of my house, but we have a small house. I mean, the size of my basement is literally like the footage of the house, I guess. And we have a 2-bedroom. It's nothing big, nothing fancy, but
Yeah.
the job done.
Everybody has different needs.
Yeah, I can't remember what my square footage is, but it's not humongous or anything. It's just like your average house, I would say. 3-bed. I have a 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
I really need a 4-bedroom now, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I still got to come up with a day for you to come over, Nate. Like I'll make some dinner and we can kind of just hang out and you can kind of walk me through the wonders of Amazon.
Yeah, any Friday, Saturday, basically. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Just let me know.
I want to try to get it a day that Ashley's off. That way she can meet all you guys, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm not entirely sure what her schedule looks like. I'm going to have to talk with her. But so Fridays and Saturdays are the best for you.
Yeah, I'm off.
Make that work.
Yeah, I'm off 100%. So
All you guys, do you have a family of like 15 or what? No.
me, I'm a family of 5.
I'm kidding. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 3 little ones and me and the wife. I guess the dog too, that's 6, but I wouldn't bring him to Anthony's.
You can't count the dog. He doesn't have a social security number. No tax benefits there.
Right.
My wife just started a new job at the hospital, and she said, "Oh, by the way, I can get pet insurance." I'm like, "No, we're not doing that."
Yeah, we're in the process of actually doing that for our pets because Nala's going to need spayed. She's going to need like all her dewormings, or I don't know what all cats need. You know what I mean? But Ash knows all that, so we're going to get her on like a plan through PetSmart. They have like that Banfield hospital insurance.
Right.
So we're in the process of doing that. And Hunter always needs something. You know what I mean? Like he's a pain in my butt as far as like healthcare and stuff, but.
How much is pet insurance a month?
I don't know, man. Like,
I'm guessing
I can ask Ash and have her. Let me text her real quick.
You'll need to sell 327 items on Amazon to cover it.
How much is pet insurance through Banfield? ?
I'm guessing it shouldn't be that much. I mean, I guess it depends on the breed too, but of the animal or how many animals you have or whatever.
Kathy says $87 a month for my 2 cats.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense.
That's not too bad.
And I could see cats potentially being a little bit cheaper. I don't know, because there's a lot more risk with it. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm not. I don't know. They're 9 years old. Yeah, probably has something to do with age too.
Yeah, once they get so old, that they have a greater chance of having having tumors or cancer or anything like that. Or some animals have like I know some dogs will have better chance of having sinus issues or hip problems and stuff like that. So that all plays in the thing for the fees.
Well, the good thing is you don't have to worry about whether they're tobacco users or not, or
right. That's Cujo vapes while I'm sleeping.
Okay, so Ash says she thinks it's about 30 to 35 a month, I think, per pet.
Yeah, that's not bad. If now that would that cover any? You'd have to pay any deductibles or anything too.
You know what? I'm not entirely sure. I think like it covers certain things. Like I think the plan only covers like 1 X-ray per year.
Oh, okay.
We have to always get Hunter X-rayed because he has those bladder stones. So the problem with that is if they get too big or they move a certain direction, they could block off his flow of urine, which could like make his body toxic and kill him.
Right.
So we have to get him checked like yearly on that because right now he takes this specific food that makes him pee a lot, which is good because it keeps him from getting like backed up there and it breaks up those crystals. But on the downside, he pees a lot. Like this morning, like I was just doing laundry, he peed on our freaking bed. You know what I mean? So that's the downside. And he's getting older, he's getting lazier, and I don't know. He pees a lot. But which sucks because he's like our eldest pet and he's like the worst as far as like accidents in the house. Like Nala's like we've had her for a week and she's I think 7 weeks old and she has not had one accident outside of that one day that she peed on my my whiteboards on my desk here, but I forgot to take her to the bathroom before I came down, so that was my fault. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, she says you also get all vaccines, spay, neuter, unlimited office visits, and checkups.
Oh, okay.
Too. So that's pretty cool. Like for that cheap amount, like I've seen people that I know like get pets and they need like a spay or neuter. They'll get on the plan for like 1 or 2 months, then drop it afterwards. Get back on if the pet needs something,
Checkups and shots can be expensive for a pet.
Exactly.
Yeah, vets are a racket,
Just to see him in the office is like typically around $100, by the time you're out the door. So, I mean, for example, the X-ray that Hunter gets, the X-ray costs over $500.
Yeah, I was gonna say X-rays are for sure big dollar. If you have to get one a year, it makes it well worth.
Yep.
Paying that every month or whatever. You know what I mean?
Because they have to pay for that machine.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the
my dog drinks beer. Disqualifier.
Kathy says her fat cat has bladder stones. I wonder if that's it, because Hunter's a little overweight too.
Huh.
That's why we call him Piglet.
I know. Wow.
It's crazy to think a dog that weighs like 10 pounds is overweight, but oh well.
Well, it'd be different if it was a cat that weighed 10 pounds. For sure. So we hadn't heard from Derek yet this morning at all.
Yeah, hopefully everything's okay. He had to go to the doctor yesterday.
I know he had mentioned that.
So, I'll check in with him later. Make sure he's okay. I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
Because if something would have been up, he would have messaged us probably.
Yeah.
Maybe hit the bins. Just dive in there.
All you see is his like little feet fluttering from the outside of the bin. I'm telling you, that dude is addicted to the bins right now. Like he was like scratching. Like we left, we packed the car. He's like, they're bringing more carts out. I got to go back for more. And literally, we hit the bins 2 times in a row because Derek was like that hooked on it.
Honestly, if our bins were anything like what you've seen, I would probably try to hit that almost every day.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I mean, just like the toys and stuff that you guys found.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I still got this one I haven't listed yet because I'm waiting on Derek to tell me the exact name of it. But he said this piece right here is worth anywhere from like $70 to $100. This is a Voltron from 1984.
I was going to say Voltron. I didn't know exactly which one or anything.
Yep. And that's the thing. I don't know the exact one either, but it's from 1984. Derek, like, pretty much pooped his pants when he saw that I pulled this out of the bins. He said, you know what that is?
So now that you say that, I'm definitely getting it. And it's not yours.
Like, I'm guessing it's like a Transformer or like a Voltron. He's like, that's Voltron from 1974. Or I mean, 1984.
Matt says pets. Does anyone sell pet supplies or pet toys? I've not sold pet toys. I was lucky enough to run up on some pet toothbrushes and things like that at a thrift store that were all new and packaged. I did pretty well on those. I think I got them all for $1 a piece, and I did pretty well with them on Amazon.
I've sold pet clothing before. I mean, I don't currently. Essentially, my wife went crazy whenever our dogs were young, and she bought an entire wardrobe for our pets. And most of the stuff didn't even get used, so I sold it off on eBay.
My mother-in-law is that way with her dog. She's got a little dog, and she's got all the little coats and sweaters, and it's so funny to watch her try and dress the dog. She's a not a Lhasa Apso. What is she? She's a Pomeranian, something smaller, little white fluffy dog.
Yeah,
and she does nothing but growl the whole time she's putting the whatever clothing item on her.
Yep.
That growling is not a sign of I like what you're doing.
Yeah,
I sold some pet chew toys or stuff like that, like stuffed animals for dogs or whatever, or cats.
I would imagine that stuff would go well on Amazon because we're ordering tons of it on Amazon right now. Like literally every day, I have another package coming to my house with cat stuff.
Yeah, I make good money on those. I think I bought them for like $5, and there was one item that was like an orange, like gorilla, or no, I'm sorry, not orange, pink. It's like a hot pink or whatever, gorilla, and I'm like, I scan a lot of stuff, so I'm just scanning, and I scanned this thing, and it had like an incredible sales rank, and they had a ton of them where I was at. Mm-hmm. So literally, like, I had a whole cart full of pink orangutans. I get to the checkout, the lady goes, "Boy, you either must have a lot of dogs, or you really like, these stuffed animal things." So I was like, "Well, my dog." This is when I was like new to reselling, and I had the awkward thing of what are these 4 questions. So I said, my dog chews these up once a day, so I got 30-day supply because I think I had about 30 of them in the cart. and they sold, I think, for like $25 or something like that on Amazon.
Yeah.
They went. I think I sold them all in a month, maybe.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean that was great money. I think I made about $15 a pop on top, after my cost and fees or whatever. And it's real easy to ship. You just throw them in a poly bag that has the suffocation warning, and you throw a label on it, and it's done.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything else. It's not going to break. Getting out there and stuff. So
I'm surprised you didn't say I've got an orangutan fetish.
nah. I already had the crazy look. I didn't want to make her think anything else of me.
She was probably thinking it though.
Yeah. I like this one Walmart by me. I always get these cashiers. They always ask me like about the quantities of stuff I have. They're like, "Now tell me, why did you buy X amount of this, or why did you buy X amount of that?" And I either let the wife make the excuse up, or the one time I did tell them, like, it was a younger guy or young adult. He was probably like 19, 18 years old. And, he asked me, I had a bunch of cell phones. So I think they were like $9 a piece. I had like 15 of them on the belt. I had took them all. And I go to buy them, and Walmart has a, 2 per customer thing on cell phones and things like that. And I guess it's a federal law by them, because they said something about terrorists, basically something about terrorists that supply these cell phones to people overseas or something, or the chips or something crazy like that, and they wouldn't sell me them. Well, they sold me 2 for each adult that was there, and I told them, I says, well, my son wants to buy 2. Does he have his own credit card? Like, they went crazy over this, but yeah, it was. That was the one time I actually said it was for resale, and I got, I only got to buy X amount. I had to put the rest back for whatever reason. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, the manager tried to say it was a federal law, something about I guess people buying and put money on them, these chips, or I don't know, something crazy.
I saw something Ryan and Pam said. I don't know if it was in a live video, or it might have been in one of those lives they do with like Lonnie and Justin. They were talking about cell phones that they were getting, and there was a limit, like 2 per person or something like that. So Ryan grabbed 2, Pam grabbed 2, and then they called their parents down to grab 2 each too.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna do like, each of us grab 2. Like, I was gonna try to get my daughter and my youngest son to say he was buying 2,
Yeah.
but we just
Come back with your beard shape, buy 2 more.
Well, the thing was, we were gonna hit another store, and I was like, it's about a half-hour drive. We'll just come back whenever the shift changes. And then I just said, you know what? I'm just not gonna go through that frustration. I don't feel like wasting time and have to deal with that. So, but yeah, that was almost what we were gonna do. We were gonna come back and do that or whatever. But yeah, I don't think I could shave the beard.
Yeah.
And sometimes those limitations are on per checkout, per transaction sometimes.
Well, the thing was, when they scanned them, that's when it popped up, like it wouldn't scan the third one. So he was just going to keep, going through and let me buy 2 and just keep scanning them. But there were some of them that wouldn't scan, so the manager had to come, and then that's where the whole, you can only get 2 per customer thing came up, and then the federal laws came up, and it was a mess.
It will still sell, Kathy. Absolutely. You know what I do? I collect the boxes from iPhone from like everybody I know that isn't going to use them. I sell the boxes for like $13, $14, $15, depending on which model it is, and if it has like the little headset in it, a charger or whatever. So yeah, you can sell the box by itself, but yeah, if you have the phone with everything, it'll definitely sell.
And the reason there's still a market for those is a lot of times they'll get them for kids that they can just use on Wi-Fi or use it as a music player, a video player, whatever,
Yeah. Oh, she sells the boxes too. I do that with everything. I do that with video game consoles. I do that with iPads, MacBooks, like whatever kind of high-end box I can find. Because there's collectors that either want them or resellers that want them to up their price. So I sell all that stuff. Yep. But it's getting we've been live for about an hour and a half now. Do you guys want to kind of start to unwind?
I'm good with that.
Cool.
Oh,
I appreciate everyone being here. Any closing words anyone has?
Don't subscribe to my channel. You'll regret it.
I can speak from experience. It's been horrible, guys. If you would, though, guys, do me a favor. Could you please go and subscribe to Nate's channel, Every Day I'm Hustling, and just show him some love. He's a good dude. He's local to Pittsburgh. He's going to help me get on Amazon, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you would, Nate, if you want to drop your link in the chat, that'd be cool.
yeah.
But yeah, he's newer to content creating, and he's already making higher quality videos than probably me and Craig put together. As far as editing skills go. But
I've given up on all that.
yeah. But yeah, definitely go show him some love. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button before you leave here. Definitely hit the thumbs up because we like those gray boxes. We hate the red ones. So I appreciate everyone's support. He wants to know where you're at in Pittsburgh, Nate.
I'm from Menneson. It's like 30 minutes from Pittsburgh, south of Pittsburgh.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, guys. I appreciate everyone being here. We'll be back on my channel tomorrow morning, and we're going to talk about the grind of reselling. See you guys tomorrow.
Enjoyed it.
Later, everyone.
Peace out.